Hello, my name is Aryan Jaff. I'm a master's degree student with Grand Canyon University, and today I'm presenting a brief explanation about the Secured Network Architect and that I designed in this diagram that was designed in Microsoft Visio. I am doing a screen test for week 8. As you can notice in the diagram, that I have designed it according to the exact assignment requirements. I made 5 departments. Each department has multiple computers that can accommodate the usage for 25 users. In the diagram, I used only 2 PCs per department, but those 2 PCs are assembled for the other 25 ones. So these computers are connected by a switch. So you can see that there are 5 switches for 5 different departments. I classified those departments based on their uses and geolocation, and they were controlled and managed by IDS and IPS, which is really stands for Intrusion Detection System and Intrusion Protection or Prevention System. The IDS is connected to a router, and that router is also connected to the both switches, and it also connected to the management system that will receive an alert in case of intrusion detection system caught a suspicious activity or data traffic. The IDS is also connected to the directory server and the data server, a database server, so it can infiltrate any traffic or any data traffic to those 2 sensitive sensors. The IDS is also connected to the main router as it's shown in the diagram, and that router is connected to the firewall. On the other hand, to balance the load, there is another router that is connected to 3 switches that stands for 3 different departments. And from the other side, it is connected to the intrusion prevention system as it shows. And the IPS is connected directly to the firewall without being connected to the main router. The router in general is the device that is normally connected to the local network that are represented within the practical form of the networking system that is mostly used in controlling signals within the interconnected local networks. The firewall can be considered as the security gate of the network, which mainly infiltrates and monitors all the data traffic, outgoing and incoming traffic that is set based to the establishment policies of the organization. The firewall has a selectivity feature that allows the non-threatening packets to be transported within the network or into the network and keeps out the dangerous packets or the suspicious ones. We can also clearly see our switches, which is basically computerized devices in the network that usually connects various devices together using multiple number of cables as example that are connected in and out of those connecting devices to enable easy communication among the networking devices. I'll go back real quick to the intrusion detection system that is abbreviated as IDS. As a device or an application of software tends to monitor all the networking that with the aim to identify the involved policy violation or malicious activity performing given network system, while the IPS, which is an abbreviation that stands for Intrusion Prevention System, which is a kind of network securities or even threat prevention as a form of technology that is normally examines all the associate flows network traffic. In general, the idea behind this entire diagram is to design a secured architect is to secure a network that can provide the best services. So you might hear the terminology of composition and security. This terminology stands for the software mainly protect and process to maintain high level of sustainability and integrity against potential threat, acting against any possible vulnerabilities. So network security is a set of technologies that protects the usability and the integrity of companies' infrastructure by preventing the entry of proliferation within the network of wide variety of potential threats. As we can see during our explanation, I used the segmentation method because I was like taking the entire diagram into pieces. So the segmentation stands for dividing the network to smaller portions to be easier to be explained. That is mainly what segmentation stands for, and cascading stands for organization, and layering for better queue. Network segmentation is a network security technique that divides the network into smaller, uh, distinct subnetworks that enable network teams to handle the sub-networks and deliver unique security control and service to each hub. I'll also explain the proxy server that is mentioned there. This terminology refers to having a server installed on workstation, except uh, mainly for the filtering router. The server is usually located in the DMZ, which I explain in a bit, area, and usually runs web servers automatically, direct user traffic. So the proxy server acts as a gateway between us and the internet. It is an intermediary server separating end user from the website they browse. Proxy servers provide varying levels of functionality, security, privacy, dependent on the case and depend on case by case. So it depends on the needs and the company policy as well. As I mentioned before, I'm talking about the DMZ, which is that area that is located in 4, which is that this terminology refers to the middle independent area between 2 or more networks, which is not under the control of any of these areas. The main goal of this is to allow trusted networks to access the least trusted area. DMZ networks, sometimes referred as a dematerialized zone, function as a sub-network containing the organization exposed outward-facing services at its active expose point to an untrusted company. If you can see, there's like a square in green up top says air gap. The air gap is a terminology refers to any open space or gap between two systems that are not connected to each other physically. So it's an interface between two systems which are, one, they are not connected physically to each other, and any logical connection is not automated. So the data is transferred through an interface or manually under human control. If you can take a look over here, the air gap means that this system is away physically or geographically of the DMZ and the internet. There are two different things. If you come over here and look, there's like a scenario here that the attacker might send a virus or a malware to a laptop that one of the employees on those departments take home with him. So the virus will go on the computer, and the next morning when he goes to work, when he connected to the network, the virus will start spreading into the network. That means the hacker got bypassed all those firewalls and the intrusion prevention system and the intrusion detection system. That's a